Let's take a deeper look at the Layers panel and how to add, arrange, create new layers, name, and move layers. We will start by taking this flat image on the background layer and making a selection of it. I am going to use my quick selection tool and simply click and drag over the ring. I will hit Ctrl+ or Command+ to zoom in, and I am very careful when making a selection that my circle doesn't cross outside of the ring itself. You could see it's taped down in order to get this shot. Now this selection tool doesn't have a tolerance setting, so to make it more precise, I will simply lower my brush size. The left bracket on my keyboard will make it smaller, and I have gotten most of the rings selected. I just need to clean it up a little, so I will go to Subtract from Selection, and now I am trying not to touch the ring with the circle, staying a few pixels away. It's okay if I do. I will go back to Add, and we are just going to let it go, and then I will use Refine Edge to see if I have a good selection. So Refine Edge will show me what I got selected, and I can view it on a white background or a black background or even black and white. There on black, I can really see the edge better, so I am going to smooth this off with Product Shots. I usually like them very sharp along the edge, so high contrast and a lot of smoothing. Smoothing will make your corners not perfect, but I can fix that when I am done. Our goal is just to practice with layers. I can also shift inside the object, which is better than actually seeing the outline of the white that we're pulling this off of. And I might want use a little radius for blending and Smart Radius to keep the edge more solid. Your settings and values will vary. There we go. So when it's finished, I will output to selection. I will click OK. I will name this background layer Ring. The reason I am naming the layer is so that I can delete the background and have the ring all by itself. So now I will select the inverse with the opposite and simply press Delete or Backspace on my keyboard, and now I have the ring isolated to its own layer. I will deselect with Select, Deselect, and I will use my Move tool to move this ring over. Now instead of copying and pasting the layer, there is a couple really quick ways. The first way is to grab the word Ring in the Layers panel and drag it directly on top of the new layer icon. That just made a copy. My favorite way is to hold down Alt or Option and drag, and now I have 4 copies, and what I will do is recolor the gemstones. This is a popular technique for catalog producers. They may sell this ring in 4 different colors, but it's more expensive to shoot that in 4 shots and pay the model, the studio, and the photographer. So they simply get the samples of these objects to match the color for their online or print catalog. So we will start with this one, and I will name it Ring Green. And I will go to Image, Adjustments, Hue, and Saturation. This is a permanent or a destructive change, but it's all right to use because it actually got other copies of the original ring that I am keeping. And if you hit Colorize, it does a whole wash of color, but unfortunately that will affect the band also. So I am going to uncheck Colorize and play with the hue, and now I have got a perfect green shade. I could make it darker if I so choose. Going lighter tends to look fake, so I really never recommend that. I will click OK, click on Ring Copy To, and we will make this one pink. Image, Adjustments, Hue, and Saturation, and play with the hue moving into the pink area. It's okay if the band actually picks up some of that color because you would get a natural reflection or highlight anyway. So I am really getting a purplish pink, and you can make very subtle moves, but there's a more pinkish pink. I can also desaturate a bit if it starts to look fake. Saturation pulls the color values out, so all the left would be just black and white. But to make a more subtle tone, I will desaturate a bit. And our goal here is just to practice with layers and have different color layers. I will select the third one and just play with image adjustments, hue and saturation. You can do any color you like for this. I think I like the blue. I could oversaturate it, make it more of a boosted blue. But again, I usually prefer darker and not too saturated, so that looks realistic. And now I will name this blue. And I will finish off of the original one named yellow. Now with each of these, it can be difficult to remember to click on the green layer before moving the green ring, or click on the blue layer before moving the blue ring. So instead of having to remember every single time, I will turn on Auto Select. Please tell a friend about this feature. It's been there for 10+ years, and I find so many people don't know about it. So I can click on the yellow, and it knows I am on the yellow layer. Click on the blue, and it knows. Photoshop basically have awareness, so it realizes what layer of clicking and dragging on, and I could finish off each of these by doing Edit, Free Transform, and possibly rotating them in different directions. If you were going to scale, you did hold down the Shift key, but I am simply going to press Return or Enter when I am happy with it, and then I will move them so they all slightly overlap. Control-T or Command-T is your faster way to get to Free Transform. Return or Enter or double-click inside to commit to the changes. Control-T or Command-T to Free Transform, and we will put this at a slightly different direction. Yours can rotate any direction. I will press Return or Enter to accept it. And now I just want to show stacking order. The green ring is the topmost object. So if I drag the ring blue above ring green until I see this thicker line, it becomes the topmost object. And if I take the original bottom layer and drag it all the way up, that becomes the topmost object. So the layer order is very important for stacking order. And the last part I will cover is lightening the opacity. You may want to do this for just a selection, but I want to show you what it's for. Without even clicking in opacity, I can hit the number 9 for 90%. Click on the blue ring, hit the number 8 for 80, click on the green, the number 7 for 70, and click on the purple or pink. I should rename that purple, and 6 for 60. So single numbers go to their whole values. 0 will go back to 100, or if I am very quick about it, 98 would go to 98%. Click here, 98, so you get some slight bit of see-through. Ultimately, I am going to leave these all in 100 by hitting 0 after clicking on each one, and I could see the opacities is at 100. I will finish this off by doing Layer, New Layer, and name it White, and then Edit, Fill with White, and clicking OK. This really just helps me see what I have got, if it's going to be a catalog or a product shots. So now I could put white on the bottom and then rearrange my objects in any order that makes sense. The goal with this video was to show you how to remove backgrounds, how to create new layers and copy objects to new layers, how to arrange your objects, and go through an overview of the stacking order. Take some time. Practice a few times, and you will become very skilled at manipulating layers.